never done this before. I'm putting a new stove rope in. It came with this little bit of tape, which I presume is to put around the two scraggly ends. I've put the adhesive in, now I've got to leave it for 2 hours. I need to put the glass in. You're supposed to have some sort of gasket, but I've got some of this heat-proof sealant. It's good up to 1200 degrees. So I'm going to put some of that in, let the bead dry, and put the glass on. But first, I need to drill out these two bolts that sheared when I was taking off the nuts. These nuts that hold the glass on. So I need to drill those out and put some new ones all the way through, I think, which isn't going to look great on the outside. There's not a lot I can do about that. This also needs drilled out because it's sheared off when I originally got the boat. Tried to take it off using brute force, so I've got replacements for those. So wish me luck. See, I've got some oil around the drill holes for lubricant. See, I put some oil around the drill holes for lubricant. When I first tried drilling the cabin roof to put the mushroom vents in, I broke about 3 drill bits before I realised you really do need to lubricate when you're drilling metal. 2 new holes drilled. Took me 4 different drill sizes to go up. I was a bit worried because it's quite close to the edge there. Now I shall try and tap it. M6. I'm going to try and use these bolts, which we've got left over from the portholes. 6x12 brass set screws. So on with the tapping. I've got this tap and die set cheap thing from Lidl. We'll see how it performs. It did alright with the portholes, some of the holes I had to retap on there, but I haven't really used it for a proper tapping job yet. They were just sort of going over an already existing thread which had got a bit damaged. So you just get the right size tap. If I remember my GCSE metalwork at all, I think it was 2 turns forward, 1 turn back. Just lubricate it. Now the end is tapered, so it was in fairly easy at first. Right, I'm going to stop recording. I'll use 2 hands on these. I feel like it's biting now. If I remember rightly, the reason you go backwards is to clear the swarf from what you've already cut. Given that I'm now over 50, GCSEs were quite a while ago. but I think I was possibly only the second year to do it when they got rid of the old O-level. Feels like I might get the bottom there. Don't want to go too far, strip all the threads, I've just cut. And that's it. Ah, I can definitely feel the bottom. Okay. The reason I'm tapping it instead of just drilling it all the way through is I don't want a hole where gases can possibly get out. I'll just try one of these bolts. See if we've got any kind of success. Yes. Success indeed. Brilliant. Okay. Focus on that. Pretty difficult with this phone. I need to get a decent camera if I'm going to do this. There are threads in there, honest God. I have come up against a slight issue in that that's about as far as it goes in. So I'm going to have to pack that out with maybe either a selection of washers, which isn't ideal, or a nut before it can grip down on the plate of glass that goes in there. It's because my taps are all tapered. You can see they're tapered. So that means that the thread gets increasingly tight down the bottom. I suppose they're designed for a hole straight through, which is something I don't want, because I want to keep the gases in. You can probably buy some that aren't tapered, which I may do at another date and come back to it. But for now, I'll just pack it out with washers. So it ain't pretty, but it'll get me away, and I can come back and tap that all the way to the bottom when I find, when I get hold of some straight taps rather than the pointy ones I've got. Okay, so they're ready to go. And just before I put the beading there to seal the glass, I'm just gonna get my grinder and cut this off and put the new one on. No, I'll cut it off, I'll do the beading, then I'll put the new one on while that's drying off a little. Okay. pulled out the thinner part of it. I'm hoping it'll just sort of collapse on itself, loosen up. It really doesn't want to. Let's make it a little bit. There we go. And that's the new one. Nice. I'm just going to go around with a bit of fairy liquid. Well, I didn't actually buy actual fairy liquid, not made of money. Just sort of degrease where I'm going to put the seal. Give that a nice dry. There's some blue roll. They must have got through some pile of this when they were building the canals. And how many rolls of blue roll they got through on the Poncasilta aqueduct construction project. Okay, this is the sealant. Now it actually arrived from Amazon damaged. Don't know if it's gone off inside. They've refunded me, but that's no good for me right now because I need to use it today. So we'll give it a crack, see how it goes. Still looks quite gooey inside, so hopefully it'll be usable. Don't need to cut the end, it's already cut. I'll assume that's the right size. That's good, yeah, it's coming. I'll put a bead of sealant around. It's not great because I always buy cheap sealant guns, unfortunately. But I'm just going to let it go off a little bit before I put the glass on, in the hope that it'll act a bit like a gasket, if you know what I mean, rather than squashing completely flat. I want to have a bit of springiness, push back against the glass. While that goes off, I'm just going to get this fitted. I was a bit concerned because you see the hole. Let's see if it'll focus for you. See the hole in the end of this? It's been a bugger. There we go. Obviously need some sort of pin because that's what that goes into this new knob I bought. Right here, got a new knob. But I did manage to go back through the packaging and find this little, what do you call it, a cotter pin? Something like that, which I'll push through there. So I'll get on and have a go at that now. Through. There's actually quite a bit of play there. I might have to put that out again and put a washer behind it. Or maybe on this side of it would be better. Since that's the side that gets all seized up anyway. Now I need to adjust this so it locks tight, because that's not actually locking tight. So it's just a case of undoing this. Lock that. Spin that on a bit. That's better. Still could do it a bit more, I think. I'm surprised by it. I thought it would kind of be more adjustable to go tighter as the fire rope wears. Yeah, that's good. Happy with that. Okay, I've popped the glass on. It's given a little bit, but I think it has got a little bit of resistance to give it that sort of more pushback, rubbery kind of effect of a gasket. So I shall now put the screws on and whatnot. So put the bottom two on, try not to make it too tight, so when things start to move when it gets hot, the glass is held in but without being clamped too tight. Because that's how your glass breaks. Back that off till it's just movable and nip it a little bit. I've not been as clever as I thought because all this stuff has come out. We'll see how it goes. These little ratchet spanners are a godsend, aren't they? I have to put another washer in that one, I think. This is the problem with running out of thread. Yeah, they both need a new washer. So yeah, another 2 washers it's taken. It's not great. I might cut the threads down a bit, or indeed get dies that aren't tapered and go to the bottom of the hole, and that's probably the best option. But it will have to wait until I purchase some. This will do for now. And hopefully it's not one of those temporary fixes which lasts forever. I do get back to it at some point. Don't want to over nip it. There's a little bit of play in that. A little bit of play in that. Okay,